All right, everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Today, we're tackling something I think we can all relate to, and that is time management.
Yeah.
Specifically, we're looking at this technique called the Eisenhower Matrix Method.
Interesting.
Have you heard of this one before?
I have. It's a really powerful tool.
Yeah, and it's presented in a way that's not just about getting things done, but it's actually supposed to be able to boost your self-esteem and that feeling of self-determination.
Right, because you're taking control.
Exactly. So we're going to explore not only how to use this for like your daily tasks, but also how it can apply to some really big life decisions.
Wow.
The source even suggests that this method can help you with things like relationships and parenting approaches.
I'm intrigued. Let's dive in.
So let's break it down. First off, what is the core of this Eisenhower Matrix Method?
Okay, so the Eisenhower Matrix, it's essentially a way of dividing up all of your tasks into 4 different quadrants.
Quadrants.
And those quadrants are based on 2 factors, urgency and importance.
Urgency and importance. So you have to kind of figure out where each of your tasks falls on that spectrum.
Exactly. And by doing that, you start to see where your time and energy are really going.
So give us some examples of what kinds of tasks would land in each of these quadrants.
Sure, so let's start with the most pressing quadrant, urgent and important.
Okay. Those are things you got to do right now.
Right, like imagine you are thinking about a career change.
Big decision.
Yeah, so applying for jobs, meeting with recruiters, networking in your desired field, all of those things are both urgent and important.
You got to get on those.
Exactly. Then we move to the next quadrant. Important, but not urgent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are things that are important, but you don't have to do them right this second.
Right. These are often the things that we know we should be doing, but they tend to get pushed aside when urgent things come up.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that happens all the time.
It does. So, for example, this could be things like long-term goals, maybe learning a new skill or taking care of your health.
Yeah. Making time for exercise. Or finally learning that language I've been meaning.
Exactly. What about you? What kind of tasks resonate with you in this quadrant?
Well, for me, it's got to be making time for creative projects. Like, that's something that I know is important to me. It feeds my soul. But it's so easy to let deadlines and other urgent tasks take over.
I see. And that's the challenge, isn't it? Balancing those immediate needs with the things that bring us long-term fulfillment.
Totally. And I think that's where this matrix can be so helpful. It forces you to actually confront those important but not urgent tasks.
Absolutely. And even taking small steps towards those goals can have a huge impact on your self-esteem.
You start to feel like you're in control. You're making progress.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about urgent and important. Important but not urgent? What about urgent but not important?
Ah, yes. This is where a lot of us get bogged down.
I think so.
It's all those interruptions, the pointless meetings, the things that make us feel busy but don't actually contribute to our goals.
The busy work.
Exactly. And it's a trap because it creates this illusion of productivity.
So how do we escape that trap?
It's all about learning to prioritize and to say no.
Easier said than done sometimes.
It is, but it's essential.
Yeah.
And it might also involve delegating tasks or just accepting that you can't do everything.
Right. You have to let some things go.
Exactly.
Okay. And that brings us to our final quadrant. Not urgent and not important.
The black hole.
Yeah. Like, I'm all for a little bit of downtime, scrolling through social media to relax. But the source seems to imply that this quadrant is where a lot of self-sabotage happens.
I think there's some truth to that. It's not that relaxation is bad. It's about being mindful of how much time you spend in this quadrant.
Right, because too much time spent on things that are neither urgent nor important can lead to this feeling of stagnation.
Exactly. You start to feel like you're not really using your time well. And that can definitely impact your self-esteem.
Yeah, it's that nagging feeling of, I should be doing something more meaningful with my life.
Right.
So we talked about these 4 quadrants, but how does all of this tie back to actually boosting self-esteem?
Well, it all comes down to choice. When you consciously categorize your tasks using the Eisenhower Matrix, you're taking control.
You're deciding what's important to you.
Exactly. You're deciding what aligns with your values and what deserves your energy. And that sense of agency is incredibly empowering.
It makes you feel like you're in the driver's seat.
Exactly.
And the source material also emphasizes doing this exercise first thing in the morning. They call it the brain's golden time.
Yeah.
Why is that so important?
Well, there's actually a scientific reason for that. In the morning, your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain responsible for decision-making and focus, is at its peak.
It's like your brain is firing on all cylinders.
Exactly. So by using that time to prioritize your tasks, You're essentially setting yourself up for success for the rest of the day.
It's like you're giving your willpower a head start.
Right. And it's not just about getting things done, it's about doing the right things, the things that align with your values.
That's when it becomes more than just a productivity hack. It becomes a way of life.
Absolutely. And the source doesn't stop there. They suggest applying this to all areas of your life, your relationships, your career, your personal growth.
So it's not just about managing your to-do list. It's about managing your life.
Exactly. Imagine using this matrix to decide how you spend your time with your loved ones or what kind of career you want to pursue.
That's so powerful.
It is. It's about taking control and making choices that reflect who you are and what you want out of life.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the takeaway here is clear. The Eisenhower Matrix, it's not just about being more productive. It's about being more intentional with your time.
It's about making choices that align with your values and that ultimately lead to a greater sense of self-worth.
So we encourage you to try this out. Think about the areas in your life where you feel most scattered or unfulfilled.
Ask yourself, which quadrant are those tasks falling into?
And how might using this matrix help you shift your focus?
Here's one final question to ponder.
Yeah.
What's one decision in your life right now that would benefit from being put through the Eisenhower Matrix?
Take some time to think about that. Until next time, keep diving deep. And remember, you have more control over your time and therefore your life than you might think.
Absolutely.